Well, I know this is probably bad news because it reflects poorly on our society, but at least we can laugh about this next story, right? From Good Morning America, Cream of Wheat says it will remove black chef from box that some consumers found offensive. Was this image of the chef on the Cream of Wheat box, I don't know, a former slave or anything like that? Not that I'm aware of, no. Was he in any way, subjugated or... I mean, I guess under just how America functioned at the time, we didn't have civil rights law or anything like that. But who is this guy? Apparently his name was like Frank L. White or whatever, and he was actually a chef in Chicago who died in 1938, and he's just become the chef on the Cream of Wheat box. They're offended by that. They want to get rid of him. Do you know who else gets offended when they see a black person on their name brand products? Neo-Nazis. White supremacists. Oh. They're probably the same thing. The people getting offended and claiming to be on the left, that's the secret, right? When you see people like Richard Spencer, the most prominent white nationalist probably in the world. Well, maybe. I mean, he's probably the most notable. When you see him agreeing with someone like Ibram X. Kendi, you're like, they agree on these things. So it's no surprise then when you see people getting offended at a Cream of Wheat box and saying that they don't want the black chef on it. That's messed up, dude. They got rid of, apparently they're going to get rid of Mrs. Butterworth. She's not even black. Mrs. Butterworth is just maple syrup. It's a woman. And it just so happens that maple syrup is like a dark amber color. Can't have it. Mrs. Butterworth isn't really even syrup anyway. It's like, what do they call it? Table syrup. It's like a mixture of different syrups and like I don't know, whatever. It's not maple syrup. I'll tell you that. I love the old school commercials where they were like, it's extra thick compared to maple syrup. Sure. Here we go. Cream of Wheat is the latest food brand in a growing list of consumer packaged goods to make a permanent change to its imagery, slogan, or name amid continued calls for racial equality. For years, the image of an African-American chef appeared on our Cream of Wheat packaging. While research indicates the image may be based upon an actual Chicago chef named Frank White, it reminds some consumers of earlier depictions they find offensive. It's just a picture of a black dude. What is wrong with you people? You're racist. Stop. Chef Boyardee, who is that offending? Are the Italians going out and flipping tables because Chef Boyardee has pretty low-grade ravioli? No. Actually, I gotta admit, I really do like the beef Chef Boyardee. It's pretty good. The cheese Chef Boyardee ravioli is not that good. I actually don't mind Chef Boyardee, It's like, you can't live on it, but it's not bad, right? I enjoy it. Nobody's complaining about that. What about the Quaker Oats guy? That depiction of the Quaker guy is back from what, like the 1700s? Where are the complaints about that? There's one reason they're complaining about this. One, because the dude is black. But you see, that's racist. You can have anyone else you want on your product and it's no big deal. What about Mr. Clean? Bald white dude. Is that offensive to anybody? Apparently not. I don't know what you would say about Mr. Clean. The decision comes 3 months after the brand first said that it would immediately evaluate its packaging and proactively take steps to ensure that we and our brands do not inadvertently contribute to systemic racism. Ben's Original, Mrs. Butterworth, and Aunt Jemima have also taken action to address racial stereotypes in their packaging and names. B&G Foods also said it recognizes the importance of diversity and inclusion in the culinary community and started a new philanthropic initiative by building relationships with several top culinary schools to help aid the development of African American and Latinx candidates through various scholarships and other initiatives. I love it so much. The absurdity. It's nightmarish in a sense, like it's dystopian, and we're probably headed towards some kind of creepy future. But hey, it's kind of funny, right? It's just the sheer absurdity. You know what I love of the word Latinx is that it sounds like Kleenex, and it's used overwhelmingly by white people, and Latinos and Hispanic people don't like the word. I think it was something like 6 or 7% know what it is and like are okay with it. And the overwhelmingly like rest of these, of Spanish speaking people or Latinos are like, what? Could you imagine talking to somebody and saying like, I don't even know how you speak Spanish if you're replacing O's or A's with X's. Like if you're going to say like perra, like your female dog, no, it's perrix. Or mi perro, no, it's perrix. You can't speak a language that way. So why do they say Latinx? That's like the most ridiculous thing. The problem they have with that word is that I'm getting to the language thing, but I have to. Is that Latino is male and Latina is female, and so apparently like it's offensive to do. So are you like never go? What about words that like don't need to be gendered? Like Spanish has a lot of words that are like male or female, and there's no real reason why. Some people just like, point it out, like, I don't know, it'll end with O or end with A. You're gonna make everything end with X? It's not even a language anymore. You can't speak that way. It's almost like Wimixin. You know what Wimixin is? So you can't say women. You can't say women with a Y or with an A. It's offensive. They replaced the E in women with an X. So Wimixin. Apparently now they're saying it's pronounced Wimminx, which makes no sense because the X is before the N. So like the N should be before the X. Fine, whatever. But I know I'm going off on a tangent on language. I actually got more in the product department. Fred Perry stopped selling polo shirt after it becomes associated with far-right group. The clothes brand has described the issue as incredibly frustrating and condemned the far-right views. You know what? I don't know exactly where my beliefs would overlap with the Proud Boys. Probably like free speech and, like supporting America. I remember I met a bunch of Proud Boys. They asked me if I would say, the saying, it's like, I refuse to apologize or whatever. And I said, no. I was like, I'll apologize. I don't think we're perfect. I'm not going to, march around and say like America's perfect. I think we're the best in a lot of ways. I think we've made mistakes. So like if someone came to me and said, yo, your country drone striked my country and killed a bunch of kids, I'd be like, man, I'm really sorry they're doing that. We don't vote for that. Like most Americans vote against that stuff. Some people vote for it. We don't like those people. For the most part, we're anti-war as a country. So I'm totally down to apologize when my tax dollars fund a war machine I absolutely hate. Hence, Donald Trump, peace agreements, withdrawing troops. I like it. I don't have to be the person who goes to these foreigners and be like, oh yeah, I'm responsible for this. I don't want to be. I don't want our country doing this stuff. Yeah, they do. Anyway, I digress. The Proud Boys believe a lot of things. I don't necessarily agree with them, but I'll tell you what. I think they should keep wearing the shirt. You know why? Because they're just wearing a shirt. And now Fred Perry is freaking out because these polo shirts with the black and gold, it's like the Proud Boys uniform, basically. Let me tell you something funny. I was at an event. It was in Berkeley. And it was like right-wing groups showed up. Ben Shapiro was speaking, I guess. And I saw a dude wearing a black polo with yellow trim, gold trim or whatever. And it wasn't a Fred Perry shirt, though. And so I noticed him and I asked him, I was like, are you with the Proud Boys? And he's like, who? And I was like, the Proud Boys. He was just passing through. And I was like, the shirt you're wearing, it's like what the Proud Boys wear. He's like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, oh, there's like a thing going on with like, Antifa and like they're fighting. He's like, oh, he ended up getting attacked by them. I don't know to what degree, but like apparently he was like, I don't know. And he just like went about his boop, doop, doop, walked through and they were like, Proud Boys, because he was wearing the shirt. So yeah, it is now a part of the image. I think it's hilarious they're getting rid of the shirt. They're not going to sell it anymore. Dude, the Proud Boys will just keep wearing the same style outfit. But how stupid is it that we live in this world where these leftists claim to be anti-racist? Well, no, I'm sorry. Anti-racism is legit racism, okay? They're like, it's just a trick they do. Anti-fascist doesn't mean they oppose fascism. It just means they're authoritarian wingnuts who don't like a different kind of authoritarian wingnut. And anti-racism means they believe in all the tenets of racism. They just want a different outcome. It's really that simple. So when you have like the alt-right and you have the identitarian left, they believe all the same things. Their goal is a slightly different outcome based on the same principles, right? That's about it. So anyway, you have these clothing companies that are going to get rid of a product because someone wore it. So how insane is it that we live in a time where the Proud Boys can, I don't know, Proud Boys, hey, put on McDonald's hats. Start using the McDonald's logo. Apparently Fred Perry is investigating how they can get them to stop doing it, like some kind of legal action. Dude, you can't. People can wear clothes. Who are you going to sue? These people aren't part of like some financial structure. It's some of the stupidest I've ever seen. They say, the brand has long been associated with skinheads, who originally denounced fascism, although the group divided in the 1970s as a small number of its members swung to the far right. The clothes brand has spoken out against far-right views on numerous occasions after its wreath-emblazoned polo shirts were used by controversial groups. The Fred Perry shirt is a piece of British subculture uniform, adopted by various groups of people who recognize their own values in what it stands for, the brand says. We're proud of its lineage and what the laurel wreath has represented for over 65 years. Inclusivity, diversity, and independence. Despite its lineage, we have seen that the black, yellow twin-tip shirt is taking a new and very different meaning in North America. As a result of its association with the Proud Boys, that association is something we must do our best to end. The brand revealed it is discontinuing the shirt in North America. So they'll order them from Europe, dude. I was in Europe and I saw this. People were walking around wearing these shirts. And and there was Antifa everywhere. So I was like, look, whether you want to accept it or not, you're allowing any one of these people to assume a symbol and then you give in. They take it from you. I'll tell you what. Red hats, that's Trump's now. They even say the red. Okay, so someone wants to make a red hat. Nope. It could be a sports team. They're still going to assume it's a Trump hat from behind. Now you're letting them take your shirts away. Okay, now what are you going to do? They wear blue jeans, huh? Levi's. What are you going to do about that? I love how stupid everything's become, but I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and I will see you all next time.